Hello, greetings. Okay, I just wanted to show you a really interesting hack that you can use with your liquid herbs. So if you have liquid herbs that are maybe, especially if they're alcohol-based tinctures, this is a great way to go ahead and make your um, make your batch that you need for the day, all your doses, so that it's easier for you to sip throughout the day. And this is especially good if you're someone who doesn't love the alcohol taste from tinctures. Now, I'll admit that this does not get rid of all the alcohol in the tincture. So if you're trying to avoid alcohol, it's best for you to choose an alcohol-free tincture that doesn't have any alcohol, okay? This is just going to reduce some of the alcohol so it's not so strong, especially if you're taking multiple dropperfuls multiple times a day. For example, a lot of these Chinese herbs, like what I have here, I recommend like 3 droppers full 3 times a day. So, if you're trying to take 3 droppers full of an alcohol-based tincture, for some people it's a little intense. So this is a way you can actually make a tea out of your tinctures that you can sip from throughout the day, and it just helps that alcohol dissipate a little bit. So what I have here is I have some hot water. I'm just here in my office. I just put some hot water from our hot water dispenser in this cup, and then I have my tinctures here. These are the ones that I take for myself. And so I take about 3 droppers full 3 times a day. So that's going to be 9 droppers full. So I have about a cup of hot water in my cup. And you would do this at home in a mug or something. And you just basically put all of your doses in the cup. So I squeeze it 1 time. These droppers are calibrated so that it gives you exactly the amount that you need per dropper serving. Okay, so we're going to do that 9 times for 1 tincture, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so that's all for this one that I take for the day. And I'm going to do it with this one too. And make sure you're shaking your tincture bottles too, because especially, with Chinese herbs, there could be some sediment at the bottom that you want in your tea, because those are particles of the herb. So I just did 3 of this one. I'm going to do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I've done 9 droppers full of each of these tinctures in this cup of water. And what I usually do is just let it sit aside and just let it cool down. And as it cools down, the alcohol is going to dissipate, because that steam, that same way, that it's kind of the same concept of reducing alcohol when you're using it in cooking. You're doing it, you're using the alcohol during the cooking process, so it has time to burn off in the dish. So then you're not really getting like an alcoholic dish, or sauce, if you're cooking with wine or something like that. Same principle here. We're putting it in very fresh off the boil water so that it can reduce the amount of alcohol that we're consuming. And it makes some of these herbs, which can be kind of interesting tasting. Maybe they're bitter, maybe they're really pungent, maybe they're sour. It also helps to dilute the flavor of those tinctures, herbs, because you're putting it in a larger volume of water. So this is really great if you find the taste of alcohol tinctures intense, if you have to take multiple doses throughout the day, and maybe if you just find the herbs really difficult to take because of the flavor. This is a great way to help it go down a little bit smoother. So yeah, so you just leave that to sit at least 10 to 15 minutes. I honestly just do this maybe at the beginning of the day, like in the morning, have my hot water. And then, if I'm here, I just put my top on my teacup, and I just set it aside and let it let it dissipate. Usually I don't even put the top on actually. I just leave it like this so it can really get exposed to the air and let that alcohol just dissipate off. And I sip it throughout the day. That's another thing. Do not drink this whole thing of tea um, in one sitting, right? You want to drink this throughout the day. This is your dose for the day. So you just gonna, so then, let's say once it's sat for, I don't know, maybe I've gone and done something, maybe got my son ready for the morning, or if I'm here, maybe if I sat, even after I've seen a patient, maybe, and now the tea is quite cooled down after about a 30 minutes, an hour. And so I'm just sipping it throughout the day. I'm not trying to drink the whole thing in one sitting. Um, you know, so you do that and you drink your tea for the day. Oh yeah, let me show it to you too. So this is our tincture tea. This is my tincture tea anyway. And yeah, I bet you didn't know you can make tea with your tinctures, but it's absolutely possible. And yeah, and honestly, I don't see why you couldn't add something to it, like maybe some maple syrup or some honey. So maybe lightly sweeten it, because remember, we don't want to um over sweeten our herbal tincture tea, because we're trying to get the benefits from the herbs. We don't want to, especially if you're dealing with something where maybe you're supposed to be reducing your sugar, maybe you have more of a damp constitution, maybe you hold on to a lot of inflammation or dampness, and we're trying to help with that. You don't want to oversweeten your tea. I honestly recommend you drinking it unsweetened, but if you wanted to add a little, especially if you're struggling with the flavor, a teaspoon of tea or two can help with that as well, because a spoonful of sugar can help the medicine go down, right? Or a spoonful of honey can help the medicine go down. So yes, so now that you have your tincture tea ready to go, you're ready to go for your day, and you're ready to keep up with your health and wellness journey, which is, the herbs are helping you with. All right, guys, so I hope this helped you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.